extreme talent. Like, it's just amazing to watch it unfold. Coming from our communities, we're often seen as underqualified in these kinds of spaces.
My experience is like no other. Haven't you heard no two are the same? Growing up, I lived out in a predominantly white area, so like the teachers didn't look like me. There were some years where I was the only black person or person of color in the entire school. I've only had one black teacher my entire school experience, and when I had somebody that I could connect to and relate to, I feel like I did a lot better in those courses because I felt seen and I didn't have to code switch. I didn't have to over explain myself and where my thought process came from.
Growing up, I never really got to read about books that were with people that looked like me. Somebody young now could like read a book about someone that represents them so that they didn't have to experience the same thing I did when I was a kid.
Let your spirits dance to R&B in our eternal destination. Let separation be our reason to love harder in close range. When you have representation and a connection at that, it gives you more of a purpose, makes you feel like you belong. I didn't really realize like the difference between me and other people and even like the books I read. When I was younger, I drew myself with straight hair and a bang. Like I didn't have straight hair and I didn't have a bang. But as I got older, being exposed to different types of literature, it really like helped me find a self-identity. Literature is not just reading, it's not just writing, it's expression. It's a story that needs to be told.
When I was around their age in high school, my first book was literally like diary thoughts of like being in high school, seeing things happen in my community. And at the time, all I had was the diary to express myself. And I think that those stories created pathways for younger youth in my community to feel seen and heard.
Growing up, there was a lot of experience, good and bad, that you go through and sometimes internalize. It's not until later that you realize yourself it's okay to be you. I feel like it's good for us to be like sharing these stories and helping other people. There could be someone out there that's like feeling the same way as me and they're like, oh, she feels the same way, or like, oh, I connect.
I have love for books that aren't by black authors, but once I found books by black authors, it just changed everything. Like it lit up my whole world because it let me know like, you like to read, you like to write, so this could be you one day. But before I had someone that I could relate to, I never saw myself as being able to be in that role.
I'm really happy that I get to be a part of this. Knowing that I get to impact kids on an even broader aspect is really important to me, because also it's setting a step for the future, you know? You're giving back so people can move forward.
I feel like these are spaces that I would have wanted to be in as a little girl. I think it would have changed my perspective earlier on, rather than having to go through life and experience things. I think it would have inspired and influenced me. It would have showed me that things were possible. Kids really relate to stories that they experience and that they can tell themselves. Who else could create a better story for a child than a child?